My beloved, pause for a moment and listen closely. There is a stirring in the unseen, a gentle urgency that will not let you go. Something sacred is unfolding at 12:12 a.m., a moment marked in the heavens, a window of divine possibility that is opening just for you. You may have stumbled upon this message by chance, or perhaps you have been searching, longing for a sign that your season of waiting is not in vain. Tonight, you are not here by accident. There is a reason your spirit is restless, a reason your heart is drawn to these words right now. You know the ache of waiting, the silent prayers whispered in the darkness, the questions that echo in the quiet hours when the world is asleep. You have carried hope like a fragile ember, shielding it from the winds of disappointment, wondering if the dawn will ever break for you. Delay has become a familiar companion, and yet, somewhere deep within, you sense that release is possible, that the story is not over, that the page is about to turn. This is not just another midnight. This is a threshold, a holy invitation. At 12:12 a.m., the veil between confusion and clarity grows thin. The heavens are aligning, and Archangel Michael stands ready, sword of light in hand, to usher in a miracle that has your name written upon it. Can you feel the shift in the atmosphere? It is as if the universe itself is holding its breath, waiting for you to step forward, to say yes to what God is preparing. Delay and release, these are the twin currents that have shaped your journey. You have known the weight of delay, the doors that would not open, the answers that seem just out of reach, the dreams deferred. But tonight, release is drawing near. Imagine the chains of stagnation falling away, the heavy cloak of uncertainty slipping from your shoulders. What if this is the moment when everything changes? What if the miracle you have prayed for is already in motion, gathering momentum in the unseen, ready to break through at the appointed hour? Let your heart dare to hope again. The pain of waiting is real, but it is not the end of your story. Every tear, every longing, every silent plea has been seen and heard. The God who numbers the stars and calls them by name has not forgotten you. Archangel Michael, the great protector and champion of justice, is moving on your behalf, clearing the path, making a way where there seemed to be none. You may feel the tension between what is and what could be. That tension is holy. It is the space where faith is forged, where hope is refined. Tonight, you are invited to step out of the shadows of delay and into the light of release. This is your midnight miracle, a turning point ordained for you. The promise is not that every problem will vanish in an instant, but that a new current is being released, a current of restoration, of breakthrough, of divine justice. If you have ever wondered if God sees you, if the angels truly intervene, let this be your confirmation. The timing is not random. The number 1212 is a signpost, a signal that heaven is drawing near. 12 is the number of divine order, of government, of completion. Doubled, it is a declaration. What has been delayed is now being doubled in blessing, multiplied in favor, accelerated in release. Take a deep breath, dear one. Let the urgency of this moment awaken your spirit, not with fear, but with expectancy. You are not chasing after crumbs, you are being invited to the table. You are not forgotten in the crowd, you are being called by name. The confusion of the past is giving way to clarity. The heaviness of delay is yielding to the lightness of release. If you feel a stirring, a quickening in your heart, that is your spirit recognizing the truth of this moment. You are being prepared for something greater than you have imagined. The midnight hour is not a time of endings, but of beginnings. It is the womb of miracles, the birthplace of new seasons. Will you receive it? Will you open your heart to the possibility that tonight, at 12:12 a.m., your miracle begins? Let this be your declaration: I am ready for my midnight miracle. I receive the release that is appointed for me. Speak it aloud, or whisper it in your heart. There is power in your agreement, power in your expectation. Heaven responds to faith, and tonight, faith is rising. Stay with me, beloved. There is more to reveal, more to uncover. The journey from delay to release is not walked alone. In the next moments, we will explore the deeper reasons you have been drawn here, the unseen currents that have shaped your path, and the signs that will confirm your breakthrough. For now, hold this truth close: your midnight miracle is not a distant hope, it is a present invitation. The door is opening. Will you step through? Dear one, if you have ever felt invisible in a crowded room, or wondered if your prayers have simply vanished into the silence, know this: you are not alone. The ache of feeling overlooked, the weariness that settles in after too many disappointments, the sting of betrayal, these are not signs of your weakness, but evidence of your humanity. You are not the only one who has walked through the valley of confusion, searching for clarity, longing for a sign that you are seen and chosen. There are moments when the world feels distant, when even those closest to you cannot quite understand the depth of your longing or the weight you carry. Perhaps you have watched others receive their breakthroughs while you remain in the waiting room of life, wondering if your name has been forgotten. Maybe you have poured out your heart in prayer, only to be met with silence, and the isolation of that silence has felt heavier than any burden you could name. But beloved, your journey is not a solitary one. Across the world, countless souls are walking parallel paths, each one carrying their own questions, their own hopes, their own silent battles. You are part of a tapestry of seekers, woven together by the invisible thread of longing and faith. Even in your loneliest moments, you are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, both seen and unseen, who understand the terrain of your heart. Let me share with you a story that may sound familiar. There was a woman who, for years, felt as if her prayers bounced off the ceiling. She watched as friends celebrated new beginnings, while her own life seemed to stand still. She questioned her worth, doubted her purpose, and wondered if God had passed her by. Yet, in the quietest hour, when she was most convinced of her isolation, a gentle presence met her, a sense of being held, of being known. It was not the answer she expected, but it was the comfort she needed. In that moment, confusion began to give way to clarity, and the darkness of isolation was pierced by the light of presence. You, too, are seen. You are not lost in the crowd, not forgotten in the shuffle of the world's demands. The very fact that you are here, listening, is a sign that you are being drawn by something greater than yourself. You are chosen, not by accident, but by divine intention. Your story matters. Your pain is not wasted. Every tear, every sigh, every silent hope is precious in the eyes of the one who made you. It is easy to believe that you must have it all together, that you must hide your struggles and present only your strength. But the truth is, your vulnerability is sacred. It is in the honest admission of where you feel stuck that the seeds of breakthrough are planted. There is no shame in confusion. There is no weakness in longing. These are the places where presence meets you, where clarity begins to dawn. If you are willing, take a simple step with me now. Find a piece of paper, or open a note on your phone, and write down one area where you feel stuck. Name it honestly, no judgment, no filter. This is not for anyone else's eyes but your own. This act of self-honesty is a powerful preparation for what is to come. It is a declaration that you are ready to move from isolation to presence, from confusion to clarity. As you write, remember, you are not alone in this. Others are taking this step with you, across continents and time zones, each one reaching for hope, each one daring to believe that change is possible. You are part of a sacred community, a gathering of hearts who refuse to give up, who choose to hope even when hope feels fragile. Let this truth settle deep within you. You are seen, you are chosen, you are not alone. The journey ahead is not one you will walk by yourself. In the next part of our time together, we will begin to uncover the unseen patterns and conflicts that have shaped your path, and how you can move from feeling stuck to stepping into the flow of breakthrough. For now, hold on to the comfort of presence, and let the light of clarity begin to rise within you. There is a battle that rages beneath the surface, often hidden from the eyes of others, yet deeply felt in the quiet chambers of your heart. This is the unseen conflict, the invisible web of patterns and blocks that seem to hold you back, no matter how earnestly you pray or how faithfully you hope. If you have ever wondered why your breakthrough feels delayed, why miracles seem to pass you by, know that you are not alone in this struggle. The journey from scarcity to overflow, from betrayal to protection, is marked by battles that are both spiritual and emotional, and they are more common than you might think. Perhaps you have noticed certain cycles repeating in your life. You take a step forward, only to be met with resistance. You open your heart, only to experience disappointment or betrayal. You muster the courage to believe for more, but then self-doubt creeps in, whispering that you are not enough, that you are unworthy of the very blessings you seek. These patterns are not a reflection of your value or your faith. They are the residue of old wounds, the echoes of past hurts, and the subtle strategies of the adversary who would rather see you stuck than soaring. Betrayal is a wound that cuts deep. It can come from those you trusted most, or from the world itself, when promises are broken and expectations are dashed. Each betrayal leaves a mark, a scar that can make you wary of trusting again, even when protection is being offered. The enemy of your soul would have you believe that you are destined for disappointment, that protection is an illusion and overflow is reserved for others. But this is not the truth. The truth is that you are fiercely protected, watched over by angels, and destined for a life of abundance, not just in material things, but in peace, joy, and purpose. Scarcity is another shadow that lingers, whispering that there is never enough time, never enough love, never enough opportunity. It is a mindset that can take root in the soil of past lack, growing into a barrier that blocks the flow of miracles. Scarcity tells you to hold back, to shrink, to expect little so you will not be disappointed. But the invitation of heaven is to move from scarcity to overflow, to believe that there is more than enough for you, that God's provision is not limited by your past or your present circumstances. Self-doubt is the silent saboteur, the voice that questions your worthiness and your ability to receive. It is fueled by comparison, by the stories you tell yourself about why others are chosen and you are not. But self-doubt is not your identity. It is a pattern that can be broken, a lie that can be replaced with truth. You are worthy of protection. You are worthy of overflow. You are worthy of miracles. These patterns, betrayal, scarcity, self-doubt, are not personal failings. They are common battles, faced by every soul who dares to hope for more. The good news is that you are not powerless against them. You have agency. You have the authority to set boundaries, to choose what you allow into your heart and mind, to invite protection and overflow into your life. Today, I invite you to take a practical step toward breaking these patterns. Consider declaring a no-contact day with anything or anyone that drains your energy or feeds your self-doubt. This is not an act of rejection, but an act of self-honor. It is a way of saying, I choose protection over betrayal. I choose overflow over scarcity. Whether it is social media, a negative conversation, or even your own inner critic, give yourself permission to step back, to create space for healing and restoration. As you honor this boundary, invite Archangel Michael and the angels of protection to surround you. Imagine a shield of light encircling you, guarding your heart and mind from every lie, every attack, every old pattern that seeks to keep you small. Speak this declaration, if you feel led, I release the patterns of betrayal, scarcity, and self-doubt. I welcome protection, overflow, and divine guidance into my life. Remember, beloved, the unseen conflict is not a sign that you are failing, it is a sign that you are on the verge of breakthrough. The very resistance you feel is often the evidence that something new is trying to be born. You are not alone in this battle. You are surrounded by a host of witnesses, by angels who war on your behalf, by a God who delights in your victory. As you step into this new boundary, notice what shifts within you. Pay attention to the thoughts that arise, the emotions that surface, the sense of peace that begins to settle. This is the beginning of a new pattern, a pattern of protection, of overflow, of miracles released. The journey from betrayal to protection, from scarcity to overflow, is not walked in a single day, but every step you take is a declaration that you are moving forward. Hold on to this truth, you are not defined by your past patterns. You are defined by the one who calls you chosen, protected, and destined for overflow. The unseen conflict is real, but so is the victory that awaits you. In the next part of our journey, we will explore how divine signs and confirmations begin to appear when you align with protection and overflow, and how you can recognize the fingerprints of heaven on your path. For now, rest in the assurance that you are not alone, and that every step you take is leading you closer to your miracle. Beloved, have you ever felt a gentle nudge in your spirit, a whisper that seems to come from beyond the veil of the ordinary? In the midst of your journey, God and Archangel Michael are constantly sending you signs, reminders that you are not forgotten, that heaven is closer than you think. These confirmations are not always loud or dramatic. Often, they arrive in the quietest moments, in ways that only your heart can truly recognize. Sometimes, a number will catch your eye, perhaps 12:12 on the clock, or a sequence that repeats itself throughout your day. These are not coincidences, but divine winks, signals that the unseen is breaking into the scene. The number 1212, in particular, is a message of divine order and completion, a sign that what has been delayed is now aligning for release. When you notice these numbers, pause and let your spirit receive the reassurance that you are on the right path, that the timing of your miracle is being orchestrated with precision. Other times, a name will echo in your mind, or you will hear a word in conversation that seems to leap out with special meaning. Perhaps you dream of a place you have never visited, or wake with a sense of peace that cannot be explained by your circumstances. These are the fingerprints of the divine, gentle confirmations that you are being guided, protected, and prepared for what is coming. In the next 24 hours, I invite you to become a gentle observer of your own life. Instead of chasing after signs, allow them to come to you. There is a difference between striving and receiving, between chasing and carrying. When you chase, you exhaust yourself searching for proof, always anxious that you might miss the message. But when you carry expectancy in your heart, you become a vessel, open, receptive, and ready to notice the subtle ways God and the angels are speaking. You may find that a sudden peace settles over you in the middle of chaos, or that a song plays at just the right moment, echoing the very prayer you whispered in secret. You might notice a feather on your path, a gentle breeze, or a sense of warmth that wraps around you like a blanket. These are not random, they are reminders that you are seen, that the unseen realm is actively involved in your story. Let yourself rest in the assurance that you do not have to force or manufacture these moments. The more you relax into trust, the more clearly you will perceive the signs that are meant for you. This is the beauty of carrying expectancy rather than chasing after answers. You are not required to strive, you are invited to receive. Tonight, as you prepare for rest, keep your heart open. If you feel led, take a few moments to journal. Write down any unusual signs, dreams, or feelings you notice. Perhaps you will see 1212 on the clock, or wake with a word or image that lingers in your mind. Maybe you will sense a presence, a comfort, a knowing that cannot be explained. Record these moments, no matter how small they seem. Over time, you will begin to see a pattern, a tapestry of confirmations that remind you of how deeply you are loved and guided. If you wish, you can speak this gentle declaration: I am open to receive the signs and confirmations that heaven has for me. I trust that what is meant for me will find me. Let this be your posture, not one of anxious searching, but of peaceful expectancy. Remember, the difference between the seen and the unseen is often just a matter of attention. The more you attune your heart, the more you will notice the ways God and Archangel Michael are communicating with you. You are not alone in this, you are being guided every step of the way. As you move into the next part of our journey, we will explore the spiritual framework that undergirds these signs, the authority of light, the protection of angels, and the justice of God that ensures your miracle is not just possible, but promised. For now, rest in the assurance that the signs you seek are already on their way, and that you are being lovingly prepared for the breakthrough that awaits. Beloved, in a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain, you may find yourself searching for something solid, an anchor in the storm, a light that cannot be extinguished. Tonight, let your heart be reminded of the authority that stands behind your miracle, the authority of light, the authority of heaven, the authority of Archangel Michael, who is sent as a champion for those who seek justice, protection, and restoration. There is a reason Archangel Michael is known as the Great Protector, the one who stands at the threshold between darkness and light. When fear rises and confusion clouds your vision, it is Michael who draws his sword of truth, cutting through the lies that would keep you bound. He is not a distant figure, but a present help, an emissary of God's order in the midst of the world's disorder. Where chaos reigns, Michael brings clarity. Where fear whispers, he releases faith. Where injustice lingers, he ushers in divine justice. You may have felt the weight of the world pressing in, the noise of uncertainty drowning out the quiet voice of hope. But hear this, you are not at the mercy of chaos. You are not left to fend for yourself in a world that seems to spin out of control. The authority of light is your inheritance. The protection of angels is your birthright. Restoration is not a distant dream, but a promise written into the very fabric of your being. God's order is not fragile. It is not easily shaken by the storms of life. When you align yourself with the authority of heaven, you step into a current that is stronger than any opposition, more enduring than any setback. The confusion of the world may swirl around you, but within you, clarity can reign. The fear that once held you captive loses its grip in the presence of faith. This is the invitation of the midnight hour, to move from fear to faith, from confusion to clarity, from chaos to divine order. Archangel Michael's presence is a reminder that you are never alone in your battles. He stands as a guardian at your side, a warrior who fights for your peace, your justice, your restoration. When you feel surrounded by darkness, remember that light is not intimidated by the night. One spark of divine authority can scatter 1,000 shadows. You are protected, not because of your own strength, but because of the one who fights for you. Let this truth settle deep within you. You are not powerless. You are not forgotten. The authority of light is active in your life, working behind the scenes, orchestrating outcomes you cannot yet see. Even when the world feels out of control, heaven's order is unshakable. The same God who set the stars in their courses has set a course for your restoration, and He has assigned angels to watch over you every step of the way. Tonight, I invite you to take a simple, practical step to welcome this authority into your life. Set a timer for 12:12 a.m., or whatever time is closest to that sacred moment in your part of the world. When the alarm sounds, pause, just for a minute. In that stillness, close your eyes and imagine a shield of radiant light surrounding you. Picture Archangel Michael standing at your side, sword drawn, ready to defend and protect. In that moment, let your heart be still. Let the authority of light fill every corner of your being, driving out fear, confusion, and doubt. If you feel led, speak this quiet prayer: God of light, I welcome your order into my life. Archangel Michael, I invite your protection and guidance. Let faith rise within me, and let clarity replace every confusion. I receive the promise of restoration and justice, in Jesus' name. Allow yourself to rest in the peace that follows, knowing that you are not alone, that you are covered, that you are held. The world may try to convince you that chaos is all there is, that fear is inevitable, that confusion is your portion. But the authority of light says otherwise. You are a child of order, a vessel of faith, a recipient of divine justice. The protection you seek is already surrounding you. The restoration you long for is already in motion. As you move forward, carry this assurance with you: the authority of light is greater than any darkness you face. The presence of Archangel Michael is not a myth, but a living reality for those who believe. The promise of God's justice is not a wish, but a certainty written in the heavens. You are not at the mercy of the world's chaos, you are anchored in the unshakable order of heaven. In the next part of our journey, we will walk together along the path from delay to release, exploring the steps that lead from waiting to breakthrough. For now, let the authority of light settle over you like a mantle, and let your spirit rest in the knowledge that you are protected, chosen, and destined for restoration. There is a sacred journey that every soul must walk, the path from delay to release, from longing to fulfillment, from scarcity to overflow. If you have ever felt trapped in a season of waiting, wondering if your breakthrough will ever come, know that you are not alone. The road you travel is well worn by those who have gone before you, and it is marked by both challenge and promise. Tonight, let us map this journey together, step by step, so you can see how the tides of your life are already beginning to turn. Delay is a heavy cloak, one that can settle over your shoulders and make every step feel slow, every hope feel distant. It is easy to believe that delay means denial, that the doors closed to you will never open. But delay is not the end of your story. In the hands of God, delay becomes preparation. It is the soil in which faith is planted, the crucible where character is refined. The waiting is not wasted, it is working for you, even when you cannot see it. Consider the story of a woman who waited years for her breakthrough. She prayed, she fasted, she did everything she knew to do, yet the answer seemed always just out of reach. But in the quiet of her waiting, something began to shift. She started to release her grip on the outcome, to let go of the belief that she had to earn her miracle. She began to trust that God's timing was not a punishment, but a gift. One day, almost without warning, the door opened. What had been delayed was suddenly released, and the overflow that followed was greater than she had ever imagined. This is the reversal path. The journey from delay to release is not a straight line, but a series of small, faithful steps. Each step is an act of trust, a decision to move from scarcity to overflow, from holding back to letting go. The shift begins within, as you release the beliefs and habits that have kept you tethered to the past. Let's make this practical. For the next 7 days, I invite you to join in a release practice. Each day, choose one limiting belief or habit to let go of. It might be the thought that you are not enough, the habit of comparing yourself to others, the fear that you will always be overlooked, or the tendency to replay old disappointments. Write it down, speak it aloud, and then release it. Imagine placing it in God's hands, trusting that you no longer need to carry it. As you do this, notice what begins to change. The journey from delay to release is marked by small shifts, moments of peace where there was once anxiety, glimpses of hope where there was once despair, opportunities that appear where there was once only lack. Scarcity begins to give way to overflow, not just in material things, but in your spirit, your relationships, your sense of purpose. There is power in aligned action. Faith is not passive, it is active, alive, and responsive. When you take even the smallest step toward release, heaven responds. The story of delay is rewritten as a story of preparation, and the miracle you have been waiting for begins to move toward you. You are not chasing after blessings, you are making room to carry them. Remember, beloved, that every breakthrough is preceded by a season of preparation. The waiting is not a punishment, but a process. The seeds you plant in faith will bear fruit in due season. The overflow you seek is not reserved for others, it is your inheritance as a child of God. The journey from delay to release is not about striving harder, but about surrendering more deeply, trusting that what is meant for you will not pass you by. If you feel led, speak this declaration: I release every belief and habit that keeps me in delay. I open my heart to the overflow that God has prepared for me. Let these words become your anthem as you walk the reversal path, step by step, day by day. As you continue this journey, keep a journal of what you notice. Write down the shifts, the small victories, the moments of unexpected grace. Over time, you will see the pattern, the slow but steady movement from delay to release, from scarcity to overflow. Your story is not stuck, it is unfolding, and every step you take is bringing you closer to your miracle. In the next part of our time together, we will enter into rituals of restoration, prayers and declarations that anchor your faith and invite the presence of heaven into your daily life. For now, trust the process. The reversal path is real, and you are already walking it. Release what no longer serves you, and make room for the overflow that is on its way. Beloved, there is a sacred power in the words you speak and the actions you take, especially when they are aligned with faith and hope. In moments when you feel isolated or uncertain, rituals of restoration become a bridge, from isolation to presence, from fear to faith. Tonight, let us step together into a space where your voice and your heart can meet the presence of God and the protection of Archangel Michael. If you are able, find a quiet place. Allow yourself a moment to breathe deeply, to settle your spirit. If you wish, light a candle as a symbol of the light that is returning to your life, or simply place your hand over your heart as a sign of openness and readiness. These small acts are not just gestures, they are invitations for the divine to draw near, for the unseen to become felt and known. Now, let us speak together a prayer for protection. You may say these words aloud, whisper them, or simply let them echo in your heart. There is no right or wrong way. What matters is your intention, your willingness to move from hiding to hope. God of all light and mercy, I invite your presence into this moment. Archangel Michael, I welcome your protection over my life, my home, and my loved ones. Surround me with your shield of light. Let every shadow of fear be dispelled, and let faith rise within me. I choose to step out of isolation and into the presence of divine love. I am not alone. I am protected. I am held. Amen. If you feel led, type Amen or your name below as a sign of agreement, a gentle act of participation that says, I am here, I am seen, I am part of this sacred community. Your voice matters. Your agreement is a declaration that you are moving from silence to song, from fear to faith. Let us continue with a prayer for restoration. Place your hand over your heart, and let these words become your own. God of restoration, I surrender every place of brokenness, every loss, every disappointment. I ask for your healing to flow through every part of my life. Restore what has been lost, renew what has grown weary, and redeem every moment of pain for your glory. I receive the promise of new beginnings. I choose hope over despair, faith over fear, presence over isolation. Thank you for making all things new. Amen. As you speak these prayers, notice the shift within you. The act of declaring truth, of inviting protection and restoration, is a powerful move from hiding to hope. You are not just wishing for change, you are participating in it. You are stepping into the presence of God, allowing faith to take root where fear once lived. If you have lit a candle, watch its flame for a moment. Let it remind you that even the smallest light can dispel the deepest darkness. If your hand is over your heart, feel the steady beat, a reminder that you are alive, that hope is still possible, that restoration is already beginning. You are not alone in this ritual. Across the world, others are joining you, each one adding their voice, their hope, their faith to this sacred moment. Together, you are moving from isolation to presence, from fear to faith, from longing to restoration. As we prepare to move forward, carry this sense of presence with you. Let the prayers you have spoken become seeds planted in the soil of your heart, ready to grow and bear fruit in the days to come. In the next part of our journey, we will look at the timelines and checkpoints that mark your path, how to notice the shifts and celebrate the progress as your miracle unfolds. For now, rest in the assurance that your voice has been heard, your presence is honored, and your restoration has already begun. Dear one, it's natural to wonder, what if nothing happens, or to feel a flicker of doubt as you wait for your miracle to unfold. These questions do not make you weak, they make you human. The journey of faith is not about silencing every fear, but about learning to move forward with discernment and courage, even when uncertainty lingers. In this sacred space, you are invited to act not from fear, but from faith, knowing that your choices matter and your boundaries are holy. Discernment is the gift that helps you recognize true guidance from mere distraction. It is the quiet wisdom that whispers when something feels right, and the gentle nudge that warns when something is off. As you open your heart to divine signs and angelic presence, remember that not every voice deserves your attention. True guidance brings peace, even if it challenges you. It does not manipulate, pressure, or demand. It invites, reassures, and aligns with the deep knowing within your spirit. You may encounter moments when old patterns try to pull you back, when fear masquerades as caution, or when the memory of betrayal makes you hesitant to trust again. In these moments, remember the contrast. Betrayal is not your destiny, protection is. You are not called to live in constant defense, but to walk in the confidence that you are watched over and guided. Faith is not the absence of questions, but the willingness to trust that you are not alone in seeking answers. Boundaries are not walls to keep love out, they are gates that allow what is good and true to enter, while keeping out what drains and diminishes you. It is okay to say no to what does not serve your healing, your peace, or your purpose. In fact, it is necessary. Here is a simple script you can use whenever you feel your energy being pulled in the wrong direction. It's okay to say no to what drains me, so I can say yes to what restores me. Speak it aloud, write it down, or carry it in your heart as a shield. Your agency is a gift. You are not powerless in this process. Every time you choose faith over fear, protection over betrayal, you are aligning yourself with the flow of miracles. You are not chasing after approval or validation, you are carrying the authority to decide what belongs in your life and what does not. If doubts arise, let them be an invitation to deeper discernment, not a reason to retreat. Ask yourself, does this path bring me peace? Does it align with the truth I know in my spirit? Does it honor my worth and my boundaries? Trust that the answers will come, sometimes in whispers, sometimes in bold clarity. As we move toward the final part of our journey, remember that discernment and boundaries are not burdens, but blessings. They are the tools that help you act without fear, to step boldly into the restoration and protection that are your birthright. You are not alone, and you are not powerless. The miracle is not just in what you receive, but in how you choose to walk forward, day by day, with wisdom and faith. Beloved, as the midnight hour gives way to dawn, know this: your miracle is already in motion. The seeds you have planted in faith, the prayers you have whispered in the quiet, the boundaries you have set in courage, all of these have been seen and honored. The confusion that once clouded your vision is lifting, and clarity is beginning to shine through. Where there was scarcity, the promise of overflow is now taking root. You are stepping into a new day, a new chapter, a new season of restoration. Imagine, for a moment, what your life looks like when restoration is not just a hope, but a reality. See yourself walking in protection, surrounded by light, every step guided by divine wisdom. Feel the abundance that flows not just in material things, but in peace, in relationships, in purpose. The places that once felt empty are now being filled. The questions that once brought anxiety are now answered with gentle assurance. This is the dawn of restoration, a time when what was lost is returned, what was broken is healed, and what was delayed is released. You are not the same person who began this journey. You have moved from confusion to clarity, from scarcity to overflow, from isolation to presence. The miracle is not only in the outcome, but in the transformation that has taken place within you. You have chosen faith over fear, hope over despair, and action over resignation. You have become a carrier of light, a vessel of restoration, a living testimony to the goodness of God and the protection of His angels. As you stand in this new light, I invite you to anchor your hope with a simple act of participation. In the comments below, write a word or phrase that represents your miracle, what you are believing for, what you are receiving, what you are declaring over your life. Let your voice join with others around the world, creating a chorus of hope and gratitude. And if this message has blessed you, consider sharing it with someone who needs encouragement, so that the ripple of restoration can continue to spread. Receive this gentle blessing. May the dawn of restoration shine upon you. May protection surround you, overflow fill you, and clarity guide you. May you walk in the assurance that you are seen, chosen, and empowered to shape your story. The miracle is not just coming, it is here, unfolding with every step you take. Remember, beloved, you hold the pen to your next chapter. The agency is yours. Walk forward in faith, and let the dawn of restoration lead you into all that has been prepared for you.